tell me something, Morrigan. Did you live there in that forest your entire life?
I left it on occasion, but I always returned. Why? Is that so strange? It was my home.
But it was just you and your mother there? No one else?
Mother occasionally had company.
What? Company? Do I even want to ask?
No, you really don't.
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message. So, let me get this straight. You were a cloistered sister?
You must have been a brother before you became a Templar, no?
I never actually became a Templar. I was recruited into the Grey Wardens before I took my final vows.
Do you ever regret leaving the Chantry?
No, never. Do you?
Yes. You may not believe it, but I found peace there. The kind of peace I've never known.
It used to get so quiet at the monastery that I would start screaming until one of the brothers came running. I would tell them that I was just checking. Oh, you never know, right?
No, I never did anything like that. I enjoyed the quiet.
Suit yourself. The look on their face was always priceless.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
You're such a handsome dog. I think that every time I look at you. Lady Cecily, I lived with her after my mother died, had a dog. A small one bred to fit under the arm and in the lap. What did you name it? Oh, yes, Bonbon. Oh, Bonbon was a terror. He would hide, you know, when he saw you coming. And then he would attack your ankles. Rather sharp teeth in the ankles. Very painful. He attacked me once, latched onto my leg. I thought it was a diseased rat and kicked. Bonbon flew across the room and over the banister. He survived, but he never came near me after that.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. Just how smart a Mabari's supposed to be, anyway? Do you think they understand everything we say? Oh, is that so? You could just be listening to the tone of my voice. You could be an utter moron for all we know. Hey, now! There's nothing saying that a moron can't be cute and adorable. Who's the cute and adorable puppy? Ignorance is bliss, isn't it? That's what the Chantry kept telling me anyhow. I get it. Just so you know, if the king ever asks me to put on a dress and dance the Remigold, I'm drawing the line. Darkspawn or no. For you, maybe. But it has to be a pretty dress.
Do you miss the life you once had, Shell? These centuries of memories you have lost?
Does it miss being within its mother's womb?
Do I... Well, no. I don't remember that far back.
It is no different. My memory stretches only so far, and what went before is now lost.
And you remember nothing at all? Not even a little bit?
There are images, faces who I have no names for, places I remember being, but not where they are. Do I miss these things? They are without context. I feel only disquiet when I think of them.
Like dreams, then. When you awake, all the details have fled.
Is that what it is to dream? Then yes, perhaps it is like that.
How very sad. To discover your entire life has been a forgotten dream. I am so sorry.
Is my being upset so hard to understand? Have you never lost someone important to you? Just what would you do if your mother died?
Before or after I stopped laughing.
I have never heard of a thing called a Kunari.
Then you have not been listening. We did not row to shore last year. We have been about for centuries.
I have listened. I have done little else, in fact. And yet I do not remember anyone mentioning such a Kunari in all my years in the village.
Relying on humans as a source of education is a fool's errand.
They are rather ignorant, aren't they? And feeble, at the best of times.
We have creatures on Parvolan that are similar. The humans call them monkeys. They are dull, cowardly vermin. They cry out shrilly when threatened and throw their own feces.
That is an excellent comparison. I wonder if they're related.
Possibly.
I keep it hidden under my pillow. Sometimes I'll take it out just so I can hug it fondly and remember the good old days. Brings a tear to the eyes, you know.
I saw what you were doing back there.
Oh?
Don't play innocent with me.
What are you talking about?
You were picking flowers.
No, I wasn't.
You were.
They were medicinal.
You're a big softy.
We will never speak of this again.
Softy.
I have a couple of interesting-looking moles I can show you later, too, if you're interested.
Why does the bard stare at me so?
I was thinking of writing a song about you. The statue with the heart of gold. Or something like that.
It thinks my heart is made of gold. It is stone as anything else. Cold stone.
I meant that you had a good heart. It seems to me that you do.
And they call this having a heart of gold. Why?
Because gold is precious and shiny and a good heart is just as valuable.
Shiny.
In a manner of speaking.
My heart does not qualify as shiny. I kill, frequently, and not without pleasure.
You have had a difficult life. Deep down at the center of your being, you are a good person. I believe that.
Even though I have never demonstrated this aspect? How peculiar.
You aren't all stone shell. There is a person inside of you.
If so, it is because I ate him.
Oh, that's funny. Such cruelty from such a beautiful woman. If you hear sobbing later, that's me crying myself to sleep.
You were in the chantry. You are a priest?
No. I was a lay sister of the chantry.
Which means...
I lived and worked in the chantry, but I did not take any vows.
So you dabbled in priesthood then?
Oh no, the lay sisters don't have the same sorts of duties as priests at all.
So you were not a priest, did none of their duties, and took no vows, but you lived among them?
Yes.
You were a house guest of the chantry?
Sort of.
Ha ha ha. Your cruel interrogation will be remembered forever. Or maybe just until lunch. Lunch makes everything better. Oh, look, I have cheese.
You sing a great deal.
Yes, I do. Music lifts my spirit. Would you like me to stop?
I didn't say that. Was that part of your chant?
No, it was a ballad about a highwayman and the tavern girl who loved him. Could you not tell?
All your language sounds the same to me. I thought you were singing of vegetables, actually.
Maybe she would know me as her love, even still?
More likely she would love to eat you.
Sten is not a name, is it?
Do you always begin conversations this way?
It's your rank, is it not? I've met a few Kunari in Antiva, you know. Not much for conversation, but some of them are quite easy on the eyes.
Those are not Kunari.
No? They are what then? Very large dwarfs with comical accents?
They wear the faces of Kunari, but they are Tal Vashoth, fiends of Saharon. They have abandoned the Qun.
With titles like your own, though, which makes me curious. What is your name, then?
Sten is enough.
But it is not your name.
It is who I am.
So the Dalish leader misled us.
You're not surprised.
No, just trying to picture his little elf head squishing. Ah, there we go.
How long were you in that cloister, my dear woman?
Just over 2 years. Why do you ask?
And all the brothers and sisters there, they had taken vows?
Most of them, yes.
For 2 years you had no contact with anyone but men and women who are promised to some uncaring god?
What are you getting at?
Didn't you desire companionship during those 2 years? 2 years! The very thought makes me weak.
My time in the cloister was a time of contemplation. I occupied myself with thoughts of the Maker and other worthy pursuits. But like I said, most of the brothers and sisters had taken vows. Not all of them. Some were just affirmed, like me.
Aha! That is not so bad then.
Nothing happened, Zevran. It would not be right to engage in that behavior in a house devoted to the Maker.
Why? The Maker made us who we are. He made our urges. He gave us these parts. You think he made them for looks? This is good to know.
These markings of yours, they have a certain appeal. They remind me of how we used to paint our faces in our lake.
Ah, but these are not just paint.
Do they mean anything to you, these symbols?
Some do. Some symbols are sacred to the crows. I am not permitted to tell you what they mean. Others are there to accentuate the lines of the body, its curves and musculature. It is hard to explain with armor and clothing on.
But I don't recall seeing many markings on your body.
Ah, no. Of course not. They are not in the places you have yet seen. I can show you if you wish.
No. I think not.
Is this a problem?
Not at all. I'm merely content looking at the markings on your face, that is all.
Have it your way. Should you change your mind?
You'll be the first to know, don't you worry.
You look so tired, my dear. It is all this constant walking and fighting. I think I know what you need.
I have noticed that the painted elf seeks the attention of the Grey Warden.
He certainly does.
I watched many such couplings during the time I spent immobile in Honleaf. Or I should say I was forced to watch. You do know that this usually ends in reproduction. I've seen it many times indeed.
Oh, that is not such a terrible thought. Creating a new life can be a great deal of fun.
So you say. I have no idea how a golem is created, but I doubt I shall be creating one anytime soon.
Just as well, I imagine. Any lover of yours would no doubt be quickly reduced to a puddle of bruises.
So you see me winning the affection of another golem, do you? Most golems are slaves to whomever holds their control rod.
Funny, it works exactly the same way for us as well. It's true. They used to issue warnings about me at the Antivan border. Ah, the good old days.
So, here is a question for the painted elf.
Painted elf? Oh, that's me. Oh, I do like that.
Am I to understand correctly that the painted elf is a crow?
Not literally, but yes, I am a crow.
As in a bird?
Is there another sort?
So the painted elf assaults helpless statuary with its feces.
If given sufficient cause, why not?
That is outrageous. The painted elf will stay away from me, or else.
I get a lot of that. I must admit, we have come very far from those early days when I tried to kill you and you decided not to kill me. Fate is such a tricky whore, isn't she? So what is it exactly that the Sisters of the Chantry do for amusement?
Do they not have sisters in Antiva, Zevran?
Naturally. Yet we are hesitant to speak to the sisters back home. They are at Tia Negrano. How do you say it? Pure, not to be spoiled.
And you would spoil them just by speaking to them?
You really have no idea, do you?
I wasn't born in the Chantry, Zevran. Sisters, we had many ways to pass the time. Work, for instance, and prayer.
No time for leisure at all?
I was not there for idle pursuits and pleasures, Zevran. I was there to contemplate my relationship to the Maker.
And that's it? Sounds bloody boring.
What did you imagine your Antivan sisters did exactly?
Well, in Antiva, the Chantries make much of the wine, so I suppose I assumed they drank it.
I doubt that very much.
And there goes one childhood dream. To think I once longed to be a brother.
I've got this nefarious plan to go around to each of them and secretly tell them all the nasty things you said. That way they'll mutiny and I shall become the group leader.
I'm curious. Will the painted elf answer a question?
Why not? I appear to have all day.
The painted elf attacked the Grey Warden, and yet it still lives. Had the decision been mine, its skull would be pulp right now.
Oh, I don't know. Could you destroy something as pretty as I am?
Easily. I fail to see how any measure of attractiveness would make one difficult to crush.
Perhaps you do not know how to look then. Take the innocent sister, for example. Certainly, even you can see the naughty woman waiting to escape from that chantry frock.
That's odd. I could have sworn I heard an insignificant man talking about my undergarments.
One would have to be blind not to realize how very pretty we all are and how important that is to preserve.
Perhaps there are definitions of blind I have yet to understand.
Just remember that she's dangerous too, and evil, and mean.
So, do golems know any good jokes?
I know at least one. It is a drunken dwarf that travels with the Grey Warden, constantly belching and...
Ah, I mean a real one. You must have overheard at least one or two standing there as you did for years and years.
There was a human man who once started telling a joke to another as he relieved himself on my leg. I confess I didn't listen. I was too busy planning my revenge.
Yeah? And what happened to him?
He disappeared during the fighting in Honleith. Tragic. Hit his head on a rock, I think.
Remind me not to fart anywhere near you.
Cute. Cute. Oh, just what I was aiming for. Ow! You could just stab me in the face first before you say something like that. I'm glad you like it. Now, if we could move right on past this awkward, embarrassing stage and get right to the steamy bits, I'd appreciate it.
Drunken dwarf fights reasonably well.
You don't have to make it sound like you're passing a stone to admit it.
It is not physically weak or entirely inept in combat.
You looking to borrow money or something?
I'm saying that there are worse things than being forced to fight at its side.
Good to know. Should I drop my trousers now, or are you done?
Done. Very done. Ah, yes. Female bonding and all that. Rah. Now, let us crush something soft and watch it fountain blood. That is a girlish thing to want to do, yes?
You have robes and such that you must wear.
And, so... robes. What else?
Well, sometimes there are vestments and ceremonial garments.
Right. And then... Ah, sod it. Under the robes. Pants. No pants.
What?
Stop stalling. Naked or not.
What difference does it make?
All right. Stonewall me. I'll find out one way or the other.
Right. Good luck with that.
You there. Hi, you. I've been watching you. Where can I get some sauce for that rump roast? Go and make yourself ready, woman. I'll be right there to see to it.
You must know that murder is wrong, I assume.
I'm sorry, are you speaking to me?
That is why you wish to leave your crows. A crisis of conscience.
Yes, that is exactly it.
Joke if you wish, but I have the feeling that deep down you regret the life you have lived.
It's true. I regret it all.
Must you be such a child? Are you incapable of a single serious conversation?
I know. I'm terrible and it makes me sad. May I rest my head in your bosom? I wish to cry.
You can cry well away from my bosom, I'm certain.
Did I tell you I was an orphan? I never knew my mother.
Gad, I give up.
I had sex with her anyway, but that goes without saying. She still had to die.
She would have to go for an elf.
She who?
You and the warden. We all know what's going on there.
Oh, does that make you jealous, my stout little friend?
Me? Yeah. Last thing I need is another woman in my life.
One wife was enough for you, was she?
Yeah, Bronca was only slightly more woman than I am. Bristle-chin poetess.
Shocking that our fair Grey Warden didn't choose you instead.
Wonders never cease.
Oh? You're lost then. All the ladies go on and on about how suave I am. I don't know how you can resist me like you do. Oh look, is that a cloud? I expect rain.
So, I have a question for you, dwarf.
Oh, sounds like you're passing a stone there. Get it? Passing a stone?
I do get it, yes. My question is this. Had the Anvil of the Void not been destroyed, does it believe the dwarves would have used it?
You mean to create more golems? Oh, yes. Faster than you could squish a nug.
Even knowing the agony that it caused, they would still inflict it on others?
No need to inflict it. There'd be plenty ready and willing to sign up, just as you did. There's fewer and fewer of us each year, and the Darkspawn never run out. If it meant saving Orzammar, there'd be plenty who'd become a golem, sure.
Does it think it was wrong to destroy the Anvil, then?
No. Sometimes people need to be kept from doing stupid things, even for good reasons.
It is referring to its former wife?
I think some statues should sod off and ask their sodded questions to someone else.
I have a question for you, Shell. How does it feel to be a giant statue?
What a bizarre question. How else would it feel?
Well, let's see. Does it hurt? Do you feel like you've been buried under a pile of rock? Or do you feel nothing at all?
I have nothing to compare it to. How does it feel to be considered an inferior race when compared to others who are just as soft and weak as you?
Fine.
How very fragile it must be. One touch and its kind crumples, spilling liquid everywhere. No wonder they clad themselves in metal.
It takes more than just a touch, I'm sure.
I feel very solid and immortal. No putrid liquids to squirt out of me. Oh, no.
Now that you mention it, I suddenly rather feel like a delicate mushroom.
Draw your weapon.
Are you talking to me?
Your weapon. Draw it.
Why? Are we under attack?
I want to see what you can do.
You want to fight me? Just like that?
You are a Grey Warden. How are you going to face an archdemon if you cannot face me?
It is a mystery, I'll admit.
I should let your weakness damn us all. Draw your sword. Try not to injure you permanently.
I don't have to prove anything to you, forget it.
So you do have a spine. Pity you don't use it.